is Cosmic Crystal Calm, which is my weekly session with the gorgeous crystal bowls. Currently my favourite, I think, of all these glorious instruments. I'm lucky to have so many good ones, but these are just epic, and I'm having a real phase of them and a real moment of wanting to play them all the time. So what I'm doing is every Wednesday I record half an hour. Traditionally it's at 3, but you know, time is arbitrary right now. And we just play together. You guys listen, you chill out, you enjoy some of the sounds, see if they carry you off anywhere magical. And for me, the crystal bowls have this amazing quality to just take you to a different dimension really quickly, and that's partly because they're tuned to the frequency of 432 hertz, which anyone that knows me knows that I have a complete obscure obsession with this science of 432. The short version, and the long version is available on my blog, but the short version is that basically they 432 hertz is a kind of classical tuning, Verdi's A. In the modern era, contemporary instruments tend to be tuned to 440 hertz. No one knows why. Presumably it's easier to round up, but what that means is they don't resonate with the pulse of the planet in the way that 432 does. So this is really important. This actually makes a really big difference to how the sound gets into our bodies, how it affects us, how we resonate. So usually what we find is 432 hertz is like a kind of magic carpet ride. The sounds get into your cells and just start to bring you into balance. It's kind of the bridging frequency between alpha and beta brainwaves. So directly your brainwaves are affected by the sounds. There's also tons of just really cool geeky stuff about 432 hertz. The stuff you can do with the Great Pyramids, looking at their distance around the latitude of Earth. The stuff you can look at with Stonehenge, which is supposedly built on the Platonic year, which is like almost 26,000 years. And actually, if you divide that exact figure by 60, which is the number of stones at Stonehenge, you get 432, and I love stuff like that. So anyway, a bit of geekery and crystal bowls for you. We are going to play them in a second, but this session is always preceded with a little bit of a chat around crystals, around rocks, as well as being a sound therapist. I'm also a crystal healer. I do a lot of work with crystals and reiki, and with using crystals in one-to-one sessions with clients when we're working vibrationally. So obviously we're not doing that right now, but there's lots you can do if you happen to have rocks at home that you connect with, that you might like to introduce into your meditation. So what I've got here, and actually I've realised it's a little out of shot, so I'm going to have to move the magic bowls around a little, is my kind of ritual altar, which is on the harmonium, kind of doubling its tasks right now. Just waiting for the video to catch up to see if you can still see it. So this little ritual altar is the one I did for the full moon, which is pretty much a week ago. And I was writing on my Instagram yesterday that I would make an altar or make a kind of a ceremonial space, a sacred space to mark each moon. And I usually do that in the run up to the soundscapes that I hold at every moon. And then that stays there for the whole season until the next moon. So this one I won't start to kind of deconstruct until next Thursday when we arrive at the new moon in Gemini. And the reason for that is that the moon is not just a one-day thing. We're transiting through lunar energy over the course of a few weeks. And I find that it's really helpful to keep all of my tools, all of the kind of stuff that's grounding my energy and grounding my practice for the season close at hand, because as I come back to it after the moon and in the days that follow, often new ideas, new messages, new thinking might come up, new insights. So it's really useful to have this kind of grounding tool where I've kind of done my tarot readings, my journaling, my own meditation and sound practice around the moon. And this really helps me to stay connected to the practice over the whole season. So this is what I did for Scorpio, and I wanted to share with you in this little Cosmic Crystal Calm the rocks that I used. So first and foremost we have smoky quartz, which is this little dude here, and I've realised I'm really far away from my camera, and with the lag I don't know if you guys will see it, but hopefully you will. He's a super mega good one. My cat's about to run through shot as well, so watch out for his little cameo. So a smoky quartz is a real base chakra, a root chakra rock. Scorpio, of course, is heavily associated with the sacral chakra, so you may not think that's the right connection initially, but this smoky quartz is just such a super powerful stone, and it's one that I've been really called to in the last few weeks. It's not one I actually use a lot myself normally, but actually it's become really important in my practice lately. But smoky quartz is a real kind of detoxifier. It really cleanses. It helps to fill the space that it's cleaned out with a more positive vibration. And because Scorpio is all about transformation, it's all about shifts, about regeneration and rebirth and a new phase. It's a really nice stone to work with. It's kind of very powerful, but pretty soft and gentle as well. It's also really good for mental health. It's really a well-known stone to use if you're dealing with stress, if you're dealing with anxiety or depression or any kind of mental health conditions. It's one of the main mental health cleansers. So I recommend smoky quartz for this season. Of course, I always have clear quartz in every grid. So he's the master healer. He kind of anchors and draws in everybody else's energy. And for now, these points are both pointed upwards because I'm using the energy from this grid in the sound space. But when I'm working with it myself, I'd lay them out away from the center of my grid. I've also got here green aventurine, just a little vase here. It kind of looks a bit like malachite. It's really beautiful. And green aventurine is a really great harmonizing stone. So Scorpio energy can be quite aggressive, quite fiery. I'm a Scorpio, so I feel like it's okay to share that. And green aventurine, much like rose quartz, is just a really nice stone to help harmonize and neutralize and balance that energy and help you see other ways of doing things, other ways of being. And I think that the idea of alternatives and alternative thinking is something we're really engaging with in this phase right now. A few more pieces of clear quartz here that you can see. Blue kyanite is something I've been working with throughout Taurus season. So we're kind of coming to the end of the Taurus sign, the Taurus sun sign. And blue kyanite is also a really good harmonizing stone. It's also really great for communication. So although we're working really more with both the heart chakra and the sacral chakra in this moon, I just think there's a place for a communication stone in almost all work right now. There's a lot been lost in communication and a lot lost in translation. I think we've all been seeing and experiencing a lot of mixed messages. So it's really interesting to see how we're all learning to communicate in new ways with each other. I find every time doing these lives, I find it so weird that some of you guys are watching live and some of you will be watching this hours or weeks later. Some of you will see it on my website or Instagram, and it's this whole kind of way of communicating into the ether is just a complete anomaly for me, actually. I'm really getting my head around, and I think I've used a lot of blue kyanite in my practice this last month to help figure that out, to help navigate that journey and work out what it means for me and how comfortable I am with it. The two hero stones that I've been using this season are black tourmaline, which many of you will recognise. It's this very kind of granular stone, lots of kind of rods within it. So black tourmaline is a real purifier. It's quite protective, but it's very good at purifying dense energy, which is something else I've been feeling a lot of. I think a lot of us have done over this recent period. It's also a really powerful mental healer. So in conjunction with the smoky quartz, it's a really great rock to work with to help balance mental health, to help support your own well-being at this time. And finally, my absolute hero, my favourite of all the Scorpio stones, and the one I'm wearing on my ears at the moment as well, is labradorite. And it's super hard to see this clearly. I'm going to try a little bit on the screen. So labradorite is this kind of opaly, rainbowy, but dark, moody. It kind of has this swirl of emotions in it that I think is so fitting for Scorpio season. And I absolutely love labradorite because it is a stone of transformation. That's really how it's referred to in the crystal community. It's a very high vibration stone, major scorpionic vibes. So you'll probably find if you have a Scorpio in your life and you need to gift them a crystal or ever have the call to purchase them a piece of jewellery, I suggest labradorite will be something that really speaks to them. It's a really great stone for travel of all sorts, particularly for astral travel, for emotional travel, for journeying from one state of being to the next. It's great for meditation, for transitioning in higher consciousness, deeply intuitive, and it's particularly great at kind of working into your third eye, helping you to seek deeper into your own consciousness and really helping you to reframe any kind of negative perspectives on yourself that you might have, any negative perspectives that are put there by anybody else. So it's really good at kind of reframing, helping you see transition and change. And that's why it's been a really big stone for me this last 10 days or so, and will continue to be as we transit the Scorpio new moon energy, moving into the new season. So these are my rocks that I've been working with in my personal ritual. Tourmaline is something I've also been using in all my candles I've been making this week. So they've been mostly tuberose and jasmine, quite kind of heady, aphrodisiac scents. Are very scorpionic, and with the black tourmaline, this kind of protective energy. I love to have, there was a really big piece here, and I love how they sort of sink into the wax, and then at the end I'll be able to scoop them out, and they've picked up all that energy that they've been around for Scorpio season. And what I had at the centre here is it's actually almost evaporated, which is really interesting. It sounds really gross, but it's bath water. So I always take a sacred bath on a moon and work with particular combinations of oils and crystals and mantra, and I usually take that in preparation for my soundscape and my own meditation and my own journaling practice. So this time, last Thursday, I guess it was, the full moon, I took a bath with lavender, with sage, rosemary, pink salt. I used jasmine, neroli, and a little bit of my tuberose scent that I put in the candle. And at the end of the bath, in Wicca and in shamanism, and in fact in lots of native traditions, it's not just the bathing and the cleansing, but actually the removal of the water, the disposal of the water is the most important part. And what we would normally say, certainly in shamanic practice, is that you stay in the bath until all the water is drained, and as the water is draining, you're letting your anything that you're trying to release, anything you're trying to let go of over this moon, as you come through the cycle of completion, goes down the drain with that water, with the cleansing work you've just done. And then you just save a small amount for your ritual to see you through the season. And this actually is almost organically evaporated away, so I'll be interested to see what day it completely goes. I guess that'll tell me that my cycle is complete. For anyone that wondered what this was, it is the Death card, which is the tarot card, the signifier for Scorpio. I picked the Moonchild Tarot because it's actually just a much less scary and offensive card than some of the tarot decks out there. But I always like to have that card present, so that whatever I'm doing, my daily draw or daily readings, that's the leading card. So I slightly went on a tangent about the ritual, and really I meant to talk to you just about the rocks, but labradorite is the one that I've been working with loads. And as we look forward, coming into the Gemini new moon, the mood changes a bit. Everything is quite dark and moody, as you can see here, tourmalines and labradorites and smoky quartzes. But where we're going in the next couple of weeks as we move into the new moon in Gemini, which is a week tomorrow, is somewhere a lot more sunny, a lot brighter. We're coming into real sun season. We're really in fire season now. We're only just over a month away from Litha, which is the summer solstice, the longest day, which seems incredible already. And we're also moving into Gemini season, which is a very airy and a kind of flighty and restless sign, but is signified with a lot of association with the sun. So I'm going to preview you. It was a wonderful unboxing I did this morning. I got this a delivery. I'm putting together the Gemini, or the next edition, the Gemini edition of Rock and Ritual, which is my side project, and that is a box that you receive, a much nicer box than this, which contains candles, crystals, oils, cleansing tools, lovely things like some of these little ceramic bowls that I use a lot, beakers, cacao, a whole bunch of stuff like that. And the idea is that then you have all the tools you need to put together your ritual at home, as I'm doing here. So I took delivery this morning of some wonderful rocks, which are going to be in the new box. So I thought I'd preview these in case you wanted to look ahead to next week. So Tiger's Eye, which is probably familiar to some of you, is a really mega rock. It's usually found in South Africa. It comes in a few different colours. There are blue and red variations, but this gold variation is really spectacular, and it's my favourite. Looks like little pieces of the Jurassic coastline. And Tiger's Eye is a really protective stone. It's also a really great connector between your spiritual self and the earth. So it's really great for grounding all of that kind of flighty, restless Gemini shizzle. And the other one that I got today that I'm so excited about is Citrine. And finding a good raw citrine can be quite a challenge. They're often quite expensive now. And most citrine points, the really dark coloured ones, are actually heat treated amethyst. So kind of fake citrine. But these are not fake. These are incredible and gorgeous and wonderful, and really quite big. I was excited when I opened them. I thought they were going to be a bunch smaller than this. So really excited that these raw citrines will also be in the Rock and Ritual box for next week, and I have a few left. A little bit of a shameless plug if you're interested in one. You can check out my website or have a look around my Facebook page. You'll see plenty of reference to them. So citrine, and like tiger's eye, is a sunstone, and they are stones that harness the power of the sun. Citrine in particular is a very uplifting kind of light stone with a huge sense of power. And the thing that it's usually used for is abundance. So something I think a lot of us are doing right now is reframing our understanding of abundance and values and what we need and don't need. And citrine is a wonderful stone for helping us to channel those thoughts and into manifestations that are appropriate for where we are. So yeah, citrine along with tiger's eye, along with some moonstones, some quartz, and very excitingly some Herkimer diamond is going to be in the Gemini Rock and Ritual box. If you're interested in exploring one, get in touch with me. You've already got me on Facebook if you're here, so you will be able to find it easily enough. And we're just going to move now with our crystal inspiration for the day into a few moments with the bowls. I'm just going to pull these in a little bit so I'm not stretching too much. And I usually find that when I'm working with the bowls, it's really nice to start with a bit of a crystal meditation. So if you do have a crystal that you're working with, that you're excited by, that feels like it's speaking to you today, and you always know they have a heat and a temperature and an energy to them when you pick them up. But for me, it's definitely labradorite. So I'm working very specifically with my labradorite stones today. Taking them in my palms. If you have a palm stone, they're sometimes a little easier because they don't roll, but I quite like the weight and the texture. And just letting the stone sit in your palms, letting your physical body connect with this kind of earthy, powerful, ancient energy that's in all crystals. They're all created at the Earth's inception, whether by pressure, by dripping, in the Earth's crust or core. So you'll see lots of different kind of blueprints of Earth in all these rocks, which I think is just such a magical thought. So taking your crystals, taking a few deep breaths, inhaling in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe a 4-4-8 counts, inhaling through the nose to 4, hold for 4, exhale for 8 through the mouth, and that's a really good expression of conscious breathing, which is a beautiful way to relax parasympathetic nervous system into a meditation. We'll begin to move towards the sound, so perhaps getting yourself comfy and cozy if you need to, adjusting your position, maybe lying down. Taking a moment to set an intention. Your journey in sound or outside of sound is always most clearly navigated by a clear intention, so set something, connect with an idea or a concept, a hope, a dream, a wish, something to release, something to invite in. And when you're ready, start to allow your breath to soften. Notice the air brushing your lips, your cheeks. Noticing a warm golden light just above the crown of your head. And feeling that light as it moves down through your crown, through your throat, through the heart, down through the solar plexus, through the center of the body, the core of the being, through the sacral area, the seat of your emotions, and down to your root, the foundations of your personality, of your life here in this realm. Feeling that warm light, that comforting glow as it moves down through your legs, through your feet, and shines out through the toes, and anything that you don't need is going to come out as darkness rather than light. Again, taking your attention back up to the crown of the head, reaching above the crown for that gold and silvery warming light, and feeling it draw through the crown, through the throat, heart, the solar plexus, down through the sacral and the root area, and out through the feet. gently finding your way back into your physical being. Maybe taking a couple of deep breaths down into the base of the body, feeling your lungs expand, your body fill and lift. Feeling the air as it rushes in through the nostrils and down the back of the throat. Switching back on the physical buttons, feeling your fingers and your toes, connecting deeper within the textures of the skin, the bones, the blood. And when you're ready, maybe taking a stretch, taking the arms up overhead, reaching up. Gradually finding yourself back once again in your space. So, here endeth your Wednesday Cosmic Crystal Calm. I hope you've enjoyed a little exploration into the crystals I've been working with and been inspired by this last week. So if you have any questions, if you would like to ask about them or find out where you can get them or just find out a little more in general, feel free to drop me a message in the chat or drop me a message on my page. If you're interested in the citrines and the tiger's eye that I showed you, they'll be coming next week in the rock and ritual boxes, so you can find those on @_rock_and_ritual. And these sessions get uploaded every Wednesday to my website. I'm generally doing them alternately on Facebook and Instagram Live as well, because I know some people prefer that. So keep an eye on my page, subscribe, follow, and you'll get notified when I start live sessions. I generally keep them on the page for a week so you can listen back. And if you pop over to my website, you'll be able to stream on demand whenever you like. So hopefully you guys have a lovely rest of Wednesday. You're enjoying this gentle shift in energy as we move from the fullness of Scorpio into Gemini's full moon next week. And I wish you all a lovely rest of evening. Namaste.